Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Wednesday, the 28th of February. Good to have you aboard, part of the Believe Podcast Network, presented as always by Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. So glad to have you here with us. Right smack in the middle of the week, we got the NFL Combine going on. All the teams are talking, maybe wheeling and dealing, franchise tags. You get a tag, you get a tag, you get a tag. Everyone out there is getting a tag. We got the NBA, college basketball, Heat and Panthers last night, some double dip action. Great chance for me to tell you guys how BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your wagering needs. That includes pro and college hoops with up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends. You can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or your mobile devices. Head to BetOnline today, become part of the team. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. So, got off to a little bit of a later start today. I hope you guys understand. We did game night on ESPN Radio last night. It's until 1 a.m., but last night was a fun night. Had all the NBA action going on. A lot of stuff to get to there. Had the college basketball action. Some stuff to get to there. So, got it going a little bit late today. We're back on ESPN Radio tonight, 7 to 10 p.m. with my girl Amber Wilson. So, we're hosting Amber and Ian tonight, 7 to 10 p.m. SiriusXM Channel 80, the ESPN app, or locally on FM 106.3 FM West Palm. So check it out tonight. Amber and me will be on tonight, ESPN Radio from 7 to 10 p.m. This is a good opportunity. Let's get to what happened last night. All right, so that's how we like to start the shows off these days when we got things to get after from the previous night. Maybe you would have missed it. Let's get to what happened last night. We'll start with a couple college basketball games. Number 16, Kentucky survives against Mississippi State, 91-89. Crazy finish. Mississippi State hit a three. Then with no timeouts remaining, Kentucky goes full court. Reed Shepherd, who had 32, hits a runner from the free throw line right before the buzzer. Kentucky wins. Number 16, Kentucky survives. But most importantly, that meant that no one rushed the floor because Kentucky, they're the ranked team, and it was on the road, so everybody was able to stay safe, even though Mississippi State was favored in the game. So technically, the underdog, Kentucky, won, but that doesn't stop the fans because Wake Forest the other night, when they beat number 8 Duke, they were a 2.5-point favorite. Everybody still ran and stormed on the court. Now, I do understand. Look, part of the craze or all the takes around the storm in the court has to do with it's a little bit of a slow period going on right now. The NFL just ended recently. This is kind of a slow period. Would we have been spending so much time on storming the court if it happened back in November? No, we wouldn't. But here's the thing. When you storm the court, it's lost all meaning. You used to have to be like a mid-major program who beats like the number 1 or number 2 team in the country, and you were like a 20-point underdog. You weren't a couple-point underdog, let alone, like Wake Forest the other day, a 2.5-point favorite. You were like a 20-point underdog. That's when you storm the court. It's not about, you could talk about the pageantry when it comes to storming the court. That pageantry was lost a long time ago when you storm the court for any old reason. There's no more pageantry to it. Also last night, number 7 Kansas goes down at home, 76-68 to BYU, a game that they led at halftime. They had won 19 straight at Allen Fieldhouse. They lose last night. BYU gets the win. The NBA, all right, the Pistons beat the Bulls last night, 105-95. Why am I even mentioning that? Who the fuck cares about the Pistons? Well, because the Warriors, in Chris Paul's return to D.C., the Warriors last night beat the Wizards 123-112. So the reason I bring those two games up, for all the talk all year, deservedly so, about how terrible the Detroit Pistons are, at 9-49, The Pistons, because of their win and the Wizards' loss, are no longer in sole possession of first place reverse standings. That's right. The Washington Wizards are now tied with the Detroit Pistons atop first place reverse standings. So all the talk about how awful the Pistons are, the Wizards are just as hopeless. And finally, the story of the night last night in the NBA. So I'm getting started. I'll let you behind the curtain a little bit. When I'm doing ESPN radio, like last night doing game night, we connect at around, I connect with the studio in Bristol about an hour before we start. So 9 p.m. last night. And I'm watching, I got the Panther game on here in the ZASLOW Mansion, ZASLOW Mansion studios in the master bedroom. And not sure why I couldn't spit that out. And I'm doing the show last night with Emmett Golden. Emmett Golden is a regular on game night. He normally does 3 nights a week with Q Myers. I normally do 1 night a week with Q Myers. And Emmett's based out of Cleveland. Big Cleveland guy. Loves all the Cleveland teams. Loves the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he's watching the game there where he is. I'm following along. The Cavs are down by 10 at home. It's the Mavericks. Cavs are down by 10 with about 4 minutes to go. And he says, game's over. And I'm actually thinking to myself, like, 4 minutes is a long time in the NBA, you know? What winds up happening over the next few minutes, Max Strus, who we love, of course. Max Strus, including the final play here, hit 5 for 5 threes in the final couple minutes of the game to bring the Cavaliers back. But here, listen to the call. The Cavs are up by 1. The Mavs are inbounding side out with only seconds remaining. Listen to this wild sequence.
Kleba to inbound, just to the left of the Cavs bench.
All we need
Kleba.
is a deflection.
Pass deflected by Mobley, but grabbed by Doncic. Doncic bounced underneath the PJ, and he laid it in with 2.6 to go. Cavs out of timeout. Strus into Mobley. Back to Max. Half-court shot. Good! Good! He hit it! Cavs win! This place is going crazy!
One of the wild finishes you will ever see in an NBA game. So PJ Washington gets the layup, seconds remaining. Cavaliers have no timeouts left. They inbound it. Mobley tossed it right back to Strus. Now, when I saw on ESPN.com and I'm following the play-by-play, and it says Strus at the buzzer, three-pointer, 42 feet, I'm like, wow, that's a really long three. 42 feet? This was 60 feet. 42 feet is like from the top of the logo. This was from the other side of the logo in the back court. Chucks it up. Nothing but net. Place goes crazy. You love that if you're a Heat fan for Max Strus. And let me tell you about Max Strus, because I even said to Emmett, I was like, I said before the end of the game, do you like Strus? How's he been for you guys? And he does like him. And, you know, of course, look, you could sprinkle a little Heat culture even on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and good things can wind up happening. You see, what in a place like Cleveland, all you need is a little bit of Heat culture. I mean, obviously, we know that with 2016 LeBron. Even a place like Cleveland and Max Strus, sprinkle a little Heat culture, good things are going to happen. So it's important to note, though, there are so many guys who come through the Heat system, and Strus is one of those guys, but even guys like Gabe Vincent, guys like Kendrick Nunn, guys like Tyler Johnson, guys who are undrafted, the Heat makes something out of them, and then they go somewhere else, and they flop. Because it's about the Heat. Max Strus, and it's funny because, like, the Belichick coaching tree is like that, right? Where teams want to hire the Belichick assistants, the coordinators, and then they go somewhere else like, yeah, without Belichick, you guys suck. They always flop. And that's pretty common with the Heat guys. The guys the Heat develop, and then you sign them, and they kind of end up flopping. Max Strus looks like the exception. Max Strus has had a very good season for Cleveland. He's been worth their signing. He starts for them, and they're second best in the Eastern Conference. Max Strus, it's rare that the Heat culture guy who they find and they turn into a good player, it's rare that guy succeeds outside of Miami. Max Strus looks like one of those guys who is going to succeed outside of Miami. Good for him. Excellent signing, obviously, by the Cavaliers, and you love to see that for Strus. Man, amazing finish. So that right there is a bit of what happened last night. Now we get to your favorite little basketball team, the Miami Heat. Now, before we get to the Heat, guys, you know I slept great last night. Not just because I got done with ESPN Radio at 1 a.m., but I got to wind down. I can't fall asleep right away. You know what helps me? Sheets and Giggles. That's right. I got the softest, coolest, most breathable sheets out there that anytime I lie down in the bed in the ZASLOW Mansion master bedroom, right there, that's where the magic happens. Just a few feet from right here. Oh, I'm out. I'm out. I sleep on a eucalyptus pillow. I got the eucalyptus comforter. I got the bed sheets, the comforter, the fitted sheets, the blanket. If you're in need of a new mattress, if you use promo code ZASLOW at checkout, you're going to get 20% off your first order at sheetsgiggles.com. A brand new eucalyptus mattress, which, by the way, my man Colin, the founder and CEO of Sheets and Giggles, he's made it so not only we get the best sleep of our lives, but it's environmentally friendly, made from the wood of eucalyptus trees. If you're in need of a new mattress, you pick up a mattress at sheetsgiggles.com. Use promo code ZASLOW, 20% off your first order. You're never going to have to look anywhere else for your bed sheets. You're going to become just like the ZASLOW family, one of over 100,000 Americans who are sleeping on Sheets and Giggles and never turning back. Sheetsgiggles.com, promo code ZASLOW, sheetsgiggles.com.